Hey, what's up, everybody? You already know who it is. It's your brother from another, Marlon reseangraves, government name. You already know. And of course, my other half,
Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing?
Jayce and I. We are the Locked and Loaded Show.
Let's go.
Hey, this is episode 19. I'm feeling good. What you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Yeah, I know that's
Yeah.
right. We talking about leveling up, y'all. Leveling up, coaching, mentorship, the entrepreneurial mindset with the one and only Justyn Pippins.
Woo!
What's up, man?
Thank you, man. I'm glad to be here, man.
Man, I
Appreciate
feel
it.
like it's
Opportunity.
been overdue. We should have had you over here. Hey guys, this whole show today is just focused on really if you're that person that's saying, you know, I got a business or I'm just wanting to start a business. I hope we can break some barriers tonight so that we can talk about what it really takes to sustain it. And if anything, connect. I want y'all to at least connect with Justyn by the end of this show, you know, say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna talk to my brother right here about it. But hey, man, Justyn, do me your biggest favor, man. Tell us who you are, where you
Yeah.
from, the myth,
Yeah.
the man, the guru.
I'm a old soul.
Okay.
I'm an old soul. So,
Uh-huh.
I've been in Springfield for about almost 20 years.
20 years.
Yep.
Okay.
I met my wife here.
Okay.
She's from Niagara.
Really?
Yep. Niagara, Missouri.
Niagara, Missouri. Okay.
I have my son here. So, yeah, I'm just an old soul. I really enjoy nice, quiet walks.
There you go.
Very laid back and chill.
Yeah.
Originally from upstate Indiana.
We
area.
talked about that. That's Coach Country, y'all. It's Coach Country.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Bear Country now, but it's Coach Country too. But go ahead, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got two brothers, two sisters, and a brother.
Okay.
My sister's in Atlanta. She's got a podcast, Backstage with at Joy Leah.
Okay.
And my brother's in Phoenix, Arizona. He's a lawyer. He's doing really well. And then my sister's back in Indiana.
Okay.
Just working. So, yeah, man, I'm just very chill.
Yeah.
I enjoy, nice quiet evenings, and so that's a little bit about
Remind me of that guy
Yeah.
that's on that commercial that where what they say, Don Quintes, whatever.
Don. I know who you're talking
You
about.
know the one that be
interesting man in the world.
have a drink.
Don,
Yeah,
yeah.
most interesting man in the world.
Yeah.
I just he's about to do a beer commercial or something real quick.
Real chill, real laid
Real
back.
chill,
Yeah,
real
man,
laid
but,
back. I know that's right.
When I was in Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
my dad was in my living room one day,
Mm-hmm.
and he was talking to my uncle about this building in Springfield that they were, doing something with or whatever. And they asked me like, "Hey, what do you think about moving to Springfield?"
Really?
Yep.
That's how you got to Springfield.
Yep. They couldn't get anybody to move here in the family. They knew they wanted it to be like a family-run building. It was just originally just going to be student housing.
Okay.
And I took a chance on the area. And only thing I knew about Missouri was that Nelly was from St. Louis.
That's right. That's right. Big Nell. Okay.
And what was it? The Greatest Show on Turf, the Rams. I knew about them. Kurt Warner.
Come on, man.
So
I wasn't a Rams fan, but it was nothing. But people used to tell me, man, how they get all that talent, and there's a story behind that too. But man, they was bad, bro. They was some bad boys. I remember all my friends was talking about, hey man, you better go and get a Rams jersey, go and get that 28, and get that, But here's the thing, man. Because I feel like I'm feeling good. I really did. In another session, I was interviewing Chief Williams, Chief Paul Williams, which was a great
He's
episode.
a good guy.
Great guy. But here it is, Justyn. You are that guy that everywhere I go, and if I'm talking to somebody that's in business, or if I need a question answered, they'll say, man, you ought to talk to Justyn. And I kept wondering, I said, well, why is that? Well, I learned some things about you.
Mm-hmm.
You currently right now can be seen in many places, especially Big Mama's Coffee.
Yes.
Talk about that adventure.
Big Mama's, it was just an idea for Commercial Street.
Right.
It didn't have any coffee at the time. Like I said, the building originally was going to be student housing.
Yeah.
But, we just saw a need in the area for a coffee shop down there. And so it happened. and we didn't have a lot of customers at first. It was really slow.
Yeah.
And it just kind of like a snowball just continued to build, and it's kind of transformed into almost like a culture hub.
It was one of those things. I remember going because Lyle Foster, obviously got a chance to, he interviewed me years ago when I first got back here to Springfield, and it was funny because he's a professor over at Missouri State University, and we were talking about the transparency of Park Day weekend and the why behind it.
Yeah.
And my family was so involved in that transition.
Yeah.
He was like, "You'd be a great person to interview," and he did. I mean, I learned so much from just, and until we both have a lot of musical background, with his thing out of Minnesota and everything like that. But at the end of the day, there's a lot, man. We could sit down and talk about a lot.
No,
but,
I remember seeing you come in there, and you be all suited up for your meetings, and I'd be like,
that
"Who is this brother? What is he doing? What's going on?"
Would you believe that was my meeting spot for some of my clients at the time that were out of Springfield? I used to tell people, you got two choices, Big Mama's, or we can go somewhere downtown.
Yeah.
You pick the spot. And it was funny because they were like, well, what's Big Mama's? And so this is about the time when it started to grow, and we would go back there. Yeah, I'd be suited and booted and trying to make it happen. But at the time with my program being a tutoring and mentoring program for adults, this was one of those things where I was like, okay, I got to rebrand this.
Yeah.
Why not rebrand it around a Black-owned company, at the time, be in places where you see more of us.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
But hey, man, this ain't about me, man. It's about you. A lot of people ask this question because we're talking about leveling up on several different levels: coaching, mentorship, entrepreneur market, mindset. You're an entrepreneur. And what does that mean today in this economy to be an entrepreneur?
It's really weird. It could be that farmer out in Nixa
Okay.
with land. Could be selling his fruit or his vegetables to the farmer's market or to the local grocery store. And then also that land is very, ripe for opportunity.
Right.
You could build some development on that land. So it could look like a farmer. It could look like a tech person. It could look like someone on a TED Talk or a podcast.
Right.
A lot of times you see all these folks on podcasts these days, and that's kind of what I think people think entrepreneurship is those type of things. But like I said, I think for folks in Springfield, it could look more like someone doing something in transportation.
Okay.
E-commerce, hauling things across town, or maybe back and forth to Kansas City, St. Louis. So I just kind of think it varies.
It varies.
Yeah.
Do you feel like what you bring? Because you said you come from upstate Indiana. You made that move for your family. Did you get here and go, what the hell did I just get myself into?
Absolutely.
What was that feeling like?
My very first night, I came to the Park Day weekend.
Yeah.
Moved here. And I don't know, just to be transparent with you, just was walking up and down Commercial Street at that time. I thought I'd be back in Indiana in like a year.
Wow. What changed? What changed your mind?
Nothing changed. I just trusted Lyle's vision. I've worked for him before in the past when I was younger, when I was in college. So I've always just knew to just trust the process with him. I knew he would shake a few trees and get the area to start to come around. But at first it was just really rough. I didn't see a lot of folks that looked like me. I didn't really see a lot of opportunities, outside of Commercial Street. But, at the same time, I wasn't really challenging myself to get out into the community as well. I think I spent my first year just in my loft all the time.
Talk about that, because that was something I know I went through. I'm from here. I knew what to expect. But when I came back, I was like, wait a minute, I need to change my mindset because it's changed. I was gone 20 years. and to come back and say, can I run my business? Can I bring what I did before here?
Yeah.
And to the point where I could be successful. That was a challenge for me. Kind of talk about that. I mean, what did you have to put into place now being here and saying, okay, if I'm going to run this, what is it that I need to do?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I spent a lot of time just kind of just hanging out with my friends here, doing a whole lot of nothing, going downtown, drinking and hanging out, stuff like that. And that was cool, but I wasn't getting out in the community. I wasn't volunteering. I wasn't trying to meet, just a lot of different folks in the community. So just trying to do more of those things, just exposing myself to different groups. Walking into a lot of rooms where I was the only brother in the room a lot.
Right.
And that really helped to kind of, I think, for me to see like, oh, okay, where there is a lot more going on in this town. So like someone would introduce me to someone and that person would introduce me to somebody else. And so it just slowly just makes more connections. And that was very helpful. So I think just being able to try some different things.
I got a question. Prior to that, when you realized, like, once you started putting yourself in a position to be in those different rooms with people, was that something that you were comfortable with doing before you came down here, or was that like a really new, like, okay, I really gotta get out of my comfort zone and get out there?
That's a good question. When I was younger, my stepdad, and you know how it is with your stepdad, you don't like your stepdad because he's not your real dad. But my stepdad, he really pushed me to get up in front of people and speak, to just to try to push myself out there a little more, to put the attention on me a little more. And so that was always in me from when I was younger.
Yeah.
But I think I didn't really get to use it until I got to Springfield and started to get out. So I don't think it was something I did a lot of, but it was something that I kind of knew, like, if I was going to make it in this town and like it, I kind of had to do some things that I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And that really, the more I did it, then the more I kind of got more comfortable with it. And, I just started bumping into just more people in the community and different folks. And I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, I would say all three of us kind of had a similar experience, because even me moving out here, I had to do, excuse me, the same thing with how can I do what I was just doing in Virginia, come to this place that, I mean, Springfield's not like 100% new to me, because, my grandmother, she was out here, visited when I was younger, went to Park Day and stuff like that. But as an adult and, pursuing something different, I was kind of in that same space of like, okay, what is it that I got to do to get this going, to get this started? So I relate to that.
Even just like taking speaking opportunities, it was something, like I said, that was in me in the past from when I was younger, but I knew that would help me in this town to kind of just to expose myself a little more.
There you go. You're part of and thank you for that. And obviously, great question. You're part of a multicultural business association here, and of course, it evolves more around culture, diversity, the aspect people like that look like us, being able to come together and talk about business, the economy itself, much like chambers of commerce to a certain extent.
Yes.
But and we're going to touch on that. But according to your website there on the mbasgf.com, because you are part of that, you're on the board, advocacy, capacity building, and networking are your core pillars for supporting new and established businesses today. Talk about that and the transition into building that over the years, because I know Darlene Mavens, who's part of our community Partnership of the Ozarks, who's very integral in why we exist today. That was a transition because she was president, am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
And now you are on the board as well. What did that take building that? Because now I've seen people from Mr. Pratt, to Lyle Foster, several different people.
Yeah.
Talk about what it took building that and what was the mindset behind it.
Yeah, I think it was just, there just aren't a lot of places for us to gather at the time when we first started it. So that was what it was at first, was somewhere for us to gather and just get together and talk and chop it up. So when you talk about building it, it was a lot of spending a lot of our own money at first. Just trying to get the word out that we were here,
Right.
that we are supporting entrepreneurs because, we knew new people were moving to Springfield into the area, and they didn't know where to get their hair done, where to get their hair cut, where to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we knew that we would be able to support folks moving to the area, entrepreneurs and things like that. But like I said, a lot of it at first was just us just getting together and just trying to figure out, how can we build this thing?
I was introduced when I first got back here, John Okie Thomas, and of course John been a part of this community since he was in college, and of course one of the first places he took me to was the Chambers of Commerce, and so went to the Chambers of Commerce, met a lot of great people, still good friends with over there, but round about this time, it reminded me so much of what I was part of back in Florida, but from a different standpoint. Kind of talk about what the Multicultural Business Association in balance with Chambers of Commerce, because there might be some listeners who going to be listening to this and they don't fully understand the distinction, or can you explain the fundamental differences between these organizations, particularly in their missions, if anything, who they serve, the role each plays in regards to, say, economic development?
Absolutely. So MBA promotes economic development and business opportunities through advocacy, capacity building, and networking. So we do a lot of networking events. We'll put on trainings. We're out in the community. We try to advocate for different things that we're passionate about. So those kind of things. In the past, we would have small business, development opportunities, professional training opportunities, all those kind of things. And so when Darlin came in, she really did a great job with just kind of getting in those rooms with the contractors and the procurement folks, and really just pushing MBA, how maybe we can't get the whole contract.
Yeah. Get the whole pie, but get a piece of the pie.
Yes.
I get you on that. Okay.
Yes. So Darlin did a great job,
Yeah.
with that. And she really moved the organization forward in a lot of ways. So when you talk about some of the differences, I would say the Chamber of Commerce, they've got a lot of funding. They have a lot of staff. They have a lot of infrastructure. Their mission is a little different, but we mainly will support small entrepreneurs who kind of look like us. We'll support other entrepreneurs who don't look like us. But,
No.
So like I said, we're just a lot smaller in that sense to where, in terms of funding, infrastructure, employees, all that good stuff. So that's kind of some of the differences. And where we're going in the direction now is we're gonna have an office on C Street.
Okay.
The new Sankofa building.
That's
going up.
Yeah.
We'll have an office down there. So we'll be looking to kind of partner with businesses on Commercial Street and downtown, and frequenting those businesses, and, using those businesses for our networking events. Just trying to see how we can support the entrepreneurs down there on C Street.
You're known for and highly respected for having a key eye pertaining to growth and success. How has your personal journey shaped the way you coach, mentor, you know, and partner with others, and how do you help them build strong foundations that lead them to long-term success?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I wanted to back up again because I originally started off with I'm an old soul.
Yeah.
So I've always hung around older individuals, and they, they were always really patient with me and took, showed me the way, showed me things. So being an MBA at first, it was just me and Sam. So I was able to do a lot, learn a lot, do all the fundraising.
No, when you say Sam, just because
Samuel Knox, Samuel Knox, Unite News. Samuel Knox. Shout out to Unite News.
Yeah, shout out to Unite. Thanks for the plug and have me in your magazine, obviously, in December. Appreciate that. Go for it. I told him I had to give him a plug one time or two, but go ahead.
But and he's doing some amazing things right now. But I got to learn a lot about membership and meeting all the members and putting on trainings, taking speaking opportunities, all those type of things. So around that same time, a lady from SCORE named Mary Overby will come to all of our meetings and just hound me about SCORE. Talk about SCORE. So long story short, with MBA, I don't know if I told you this, but I was able to bring Stedman Graham to Springfield.
I remember.
I had got enough traction from MIB at the time to bring Stedman Graham to Springfield. And when I walked away from that event, the one main thing that I took away from that was that I needed help. I was trying to do everything myself.
Woo! Hold on. Let's put a pin. Bing, 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 bing. Hey, y'all heard that, right? Guess, listen real quick. We're going to come back because this is about to get real hot. We got the one and only Justyn Pippins, and we're talking about leveling up, y'all. We're talking about leveling up for all the right reasons, coaching, mentorship, and entrepreneurial market. Again, I'm the host, my co-host.
Jcnae.
That's right. You already know. It's the Locked and Loaded Show. Come back. We'll see you in just a moment. Hey everybody, we back. Man, if you haven't already joined us, please stay on with us. This is the Locked and Loaded Show. I am one host. That's of course Brother Mays, aka Marlon reseangraves, and of course my better half.
This is Janae.
Hey. We got special guests in the house. One and only Justyn Pippins, the man, the myth, the entrepreneur, coach himself. Justyn, we talked about some foundations of where you come from and how you started in this area, but you started to kind of hit a part in there about SCORE.
Yeah.
And I want you to talk about that because, man, this is a program that, and for those that don't know, it is one of the bases as to why we are connecting to our youth. Kind of talk about that.
Yeah. SCORE is a national nonprofit. They've got chapters all over the country. In Missouri, you've got St. Louis and Kansas City. But the point I was getting at and trying to make was that, like I said, I was trying to do everything myself. And so when I joined SCORE, I was surrounded by all these older mentors. SCORE stands for Service Corps of Retired Executives.
Okay.
So you got a lot of older individuals who've worked in corporate America for 20, 30, 40 years, and now they're retired, and this is how they give back.
Yeah. It reminds me of Inroads. I was in college, and I was the resident director of Inroads for Kansas City and at my college, and we mentor these young people through a summer camp with businesses and stuff. But go ahead, man. I mean, you can talk about SCORE, because it's programs like that that remind me of what strength we really have. But let's go for it, man.
So I had more of a team. I had a lot of different folks who had marketing background, sales background, how to start a franchise, you know, how to I had all these resources at my fingertips. But what they focus on is workshops and mentoring. So you sign up and you get a mentor, and you know how entrepreneurs are. You know how folks are. Some folks are like, "Hey, I just need a loan. Click, and that's all I need."
Yeah.
You don't hear from them ever again. Some folks, they really want to go on that journey with you to where you really can help them. They can really absorb a lot of things. They can, maybe they do want that loan, but maybe they want to do some networking as well. Or maybe they want to go back to the drawing board on their business plan, So then that way you're able to build more of a relationship with them, a rapport, and you can get more out of that.
Because a lot of people, and correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of people don't want to admit that they need help. Let's call it what it is. I mean, one of the reasons businesses does not take the next step forward is because we're wearing too many hats.
You ever walked into a business and the owner's walking around doing everything, looking angry with an attitude and
been there, done that. Hey, listen, but here's the thing. That is so true, man. Yeah. Is that the type of people that come to you? Because they're burnt out trying to do it all.
Yep. And so usually a session, the very first session, I would say, is just a lot of listening and learning. And so you may pick up on they have a lot of family stuff going on, and that's kind of blocking their business at the moment. So a good mentor listens and learns. So that's what I was saying. Sometimes it could just be, hey, I just want to get a grant or a loan. So if you're listening, you can see, okay, they really just need money.
Yeah.
Why don't you go get a job?
Yeah.
Oh, what about my business? Yeah, your business is going to suffer, but this whole conversation you're talking about, you need money right now. Go get a job.
That part.
So just understanding what the entrepreneurs need, and then being patient with them, holding their hand, giving them homework, and then following up with them.
Yeah.
But how I got connected.
I was gonna say, didn't you get connected with
Jayce
over here through SCORE?
So another program we have is, one of them is Access to Money, where it's like a Shark Tank type program.
Oh, okay.
To where we give money out to whoever wins, whoever has the best.
To tell people no and say it ain't gonna work and all that. Yeah, I like to be that advocate. Like, love your idea, but it ain't gonna work. Bye. No, I'm just saying. But go ahead.
But the other one is our E3 Women's Conference.
Okay.
And 1 year Jayce was a speaker and she performed at it, and it was amazing.
Yes, I did.
See, I learned everything through the show. You don't never tell me half the stuff you do, but go ahead. It's all good.
So I got introduced into it from my grandmother. I'm not sure what role me and her were on the panel together. It was me and her and
What'd
a couple.
you talk about?
Well, for me specifically, I was given the opportunity to be one of like the main panelists, like on the stage, answering questions, and then they had different breakout sessions where I led my own, what do you call it? Presentation, I guess.
Yeah.
And I talked about me just being a woman in the music business, and just my journey on me going to school and how I got into music and me trying to turn it into something profitable,
Right.
and doing what I love. It was a very cool experience. I never been on like a panel setting like that before. I know I don't speak a lot here, but public speaking is not new to me. I've done lots of speeches and contests and stuff growing up, but what was really cool about it is because growing up, I know you mentioned your stepdad kind of putting you in a position to be center of attention, or just be comfortable with being uncomfortable. But growing up, one of the things that I would feel like prepared me to even do something like that with SCORE, because before that, I don't remember the last time I did public speaking. It was in college at some point. But growing up, I did different programs. I was part of, I believe it was called like Delta Society or something. It was something that the sorority, the Delta, they put together, mentoring young women and everything. So it kind of reminded me of that. So it was really cool to be back part of something like that in regards to it servicing women in a certain professional dynamic. So that was pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
what's up.
So when you ask me how,
Mm-hmm.
I like to mentor, and
Mm-hmm.
and so that's kind of how I've been shaped as a mentor, is to treat everyone with respect,
Mm-hmm.
to treat everyone like a blank canvas. I don't care how bad your business idea is or how good it is. I will take you on as a client and try to help you through that process.
Give me an example of what that conversation is like once you have taken on that client, and now you've agreed to mentor them, you've agreed to coach them, and say, okay, we're gonna sit down weekly, or we're gonna sit down monthly. Here's your goals for the next 6 months, and then we'll meet on this. How does that actually work?
Yes, it could be, our training and events that we're having.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will ask them to attend those, because then that's a way for you to sharpen your skills, maybe in some other areas. We'll meet one on one, whether it's your coffee, lunch, or whatever. And like I said, just and really just try to listen, not to be talking at you or telling you what you need to do, but just really trying to understand where you're strong, where you're weak. Okay, let's try to work
So you're
on
doing analysis, a pre-analysis of
exactly,
what's worked.
exactly.
Okay.
Because a lot of times, like I said, it might just be stuff that's happening at home that's blocking what you're doing. So
Well, let's be 100. It might be just the fact that you have a business because you call it a business. You running it out of your house, or you running it out of your car, or you running it out of your garage,
Sound
or
like me.
you posting on Facebook, and you sitting there like, "Hey, this is what am I doing? Hey, pull up on here on Sunday the 15th, and we selling some dinners out of what's name, and great idea, might make some great money, but you subject to have somebody go boop, pull up like, do you have business license? Do you have this permit to do this and things like that? Do we fall into that? And I'm gonna say we, but do you find people falling into that so much that they come to you and say, "Look, I'm tired of being cited over this or that. What's the right way to do this? What's the right way to get started?"
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times entrepreneurs,
Mm,
if you're starting a business,
mm,
you do kind of know how to cut corners a little,
mm, mm,
and you try to take advantage of them. So yes, I do see that. But we just try to encourage them that, hey man, get this paperwork in order, get
yeah.
all these things in order. Just go ahead and do it.
Mm.
And
I ain't against the mamas that want to sell dinners, I just want to let y'all know I still like my chocolate, my red velvet cakes, and all that. People be calling like, "Hey, we selling some dinners for the church over here, but you're doing it at the house."
yeah.
I get it, but even something like that sometimes could be a thing. But anyway, go ahead.
No, man, it's just like even the Water Boys in Atlanta.
What? Come on, man. That was a movie about that. You know about
Them
that?
boys making a
They
killing.
was making money,
Mm-hmm.
They making a killing. You think they got their business license and all
bruh.
that kind of stuff in order?
Let me tell you something. I said the same thing. Well, see, in Miami, I saw that a lot. The OJs be literally just right there edge of the corner, and they be like, and it's hot, you in traffic, and you sitting there like, man, I need some cold water. Man, you just popped off $2 or $3 for a bottle, easy. And they say, you thinking, they just sold a case or two cases in less than 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And they doing this all day.
Yep.
They making more money than most people. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
get it. I get it. But then it also lets you know too, you get them people out there be wanting you to donate money because they trying to help their youth program out and all that. That's a business itself. I say all that to say this because I think a lot of people we're business minded, we're entrepreneur minded. A lot of people know how to hustle. Do you
Mm-hmm.
get that mentality out of a lot of people? Like, hey, you can hustle, you can make your money.
Yeah, I think yes and no. I think you have some folks in this area that maybe it was a family business that got
Yeah,
passed down to them,
yeah,
or maybe their family might have had some money and they took it and started a business.
Yeah.
So you do see those kind of things, but it's like you can tell by the passion that they have for it.
Right.
Like you tell them to do something and they already got it done and sent you a text
There you
back
go.
that
There
it's
you go.
done. So you can kind of tell who's gonna be successful and who's not just
So
by
what's lacking? What's the one question? Here's the question: what's the one thing that most people don't have, or they refuse to do, or they challenge to do? Let's put it that way. And you're sitting there going, you right there, but you.
I will go back to trying to do everything themselves because it's your idea, it's your vision. Everybody's not gonna see your vision. It's your funding. You bought the building. You've done everything to get it going. So you want to wear all the hats in the business. And I think Springfield has finally gotten to a point to where you're just gonna have to hire talent. You can't do everything yourself. You need that marketing person. You need that customer service person. You need, whoever. So I think folks have finally gotten around to where like you've got to expand and grow in this area, whether you like it or not. So trying to hire friends and family all the time,
Is that a good thing?
it'll get you going.
I was going to say
It's
get you
cool.
going, but is that a good thing?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is. Like our business is a family-owned business, so I think it is. I think it gives you structure. I think it gives the family kind of something, a North Star almost. You know what I mean? So I think it's a good thing.
What's the real issues that I don't even want to deal with issues. Let me put it this way: what have you found to really be the formula that at least gets people over the hump? Because there is a formula out there. There's a equation that you say if you do X this plus Y this times this to get this, it'll at least get you that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So
Yes.
so do you what are some, can you talk about that?
Yeah, I think it's two. I know one is just filling a niche, filling a gap. So, if you're a large employer and you
And filling the niche, y'all, there's not a scratch. It ain't you doing all that, an itch or whatever. It's filling a need.
yes.
There you go.
Yeah,
All right.
like the food truck that comes to the big employer all the time.
There you go.
Or your let's say you're a small yoga studio or a small wellness company and this big employer wants to provide what is it? What do they call it now? Employee
Wellness services.
Yes, all that.
Okay.
So those kind of things. If you're filling a niche or a gap, those things are doing really well because you don't have to create a whole division in your company. You can just bring this person in locally from the area.
Right.
So those do really well. But then also I kind of think in this area, it seems like the folks that are like really involved and don't mind doing a lot of different things or getting in a lot of other groups, networking with a lot of different folks. Those seem to kind of be the folks that that get to the opportunities and make the most of it.
Make the most of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you
I
sit
like
in
that.
your business and just sit at the front desk and why I don't have customers? Why am I not getting any business?
You're not gonna find them from sitting in front of the
Do you
desk.
do you think that AI has really stepped in and changed the game to the point? I mean, that I see your face, but there's so many opportunities to learn it.
Yeah.
I see it. Udemy, Coursera, all these different websites. You can learn a lot about AI, but the thing is applying it.
Yeah.
Finding the niche. I had to have this conversation with my ex-wife, and I said, if you are going to take some AI classes, make sure it fits what you do. Because there's so many people there offering so much out there. And you can learn all the AI you want, but if it don't fit what you do, then you're just sitting there with a lot of titles, a lot of qualifications. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Do you find that is hard to be transparent about? especially when you're talking about I like to call it a hybrid learning structure. Because we have a lot of people who learn AI. They learn to say, hey, if I learn AI and I do this, my business is going to do this. But you also got to have those social skills. You also got to have those, I think,
that human touch.
Yeah, human touch. It said, because people really want that strategic judgment. They want that rationale. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that is a stopping point? Or you run into that a lot?
Yeah, I've taken a bunch of AI classes, and I'm still learning, growing with it. But I feel like if you're in San Francisco or New York, I feel like AI, unless you're in those cliques, you don't really know what's happening in AI. So, like, I think for a town like Springfield, they're having a tech conference next week. It was free for the first 200 people. They're going to have all week all these courses and trainings on different AI, this and that. So if you really want to know what's going on with AI, it's right there for you at your fingertips. But I do see a lot of businesses trying to figure out how they can implement it, how it can save them money. Maybe they can get rid of a few employees. It'll help their processes and procedures a little better. So I just think it just depends on, like, if you're Pitt Technology in Springfield, then they're probably investing heavily in AI. You get what I'm saying?
No, I see. I get
so,
it.
but if you're the small mom and pop store, maybe
kind of rephrase that for the people, because I think people don't understand the differentiation. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was trying to say, like, if you're in those networks, those tech cliques, those tech networks, yes, it's they are investing heavily in AI because they're going to be at the forefront of it. They're going to be the ones that people come and buy all the programs off of them. So that's why they're investing in it. But like I said, to regular mom and pop people or to small, food trucks or small nonprofits, things of that nature, maybe it might be a little bit out there for them, but if you do your research on it and do your homework, it's definitely worth the investment.
Are you bound by the idea that we are some of us just might not be ready?
I think a lot of us aren't ready for it because you just are they gonna take our jobs? Are we gonna have are we gonna have these robots in our house and all this kind of stuff? Yes, that stuff's coming. It's all coming. That may not be today or tomorrow, but it's coming. Self-driving cars, all this stuff is coming. And just because you hide in your house doesn't mean that it's gonna stop it. That's why I said these folks are investing heavily in it. They're not doing that for a reason.
I feel like it's just gonna boil down to having to adapt. I mean, honestly, it's not like we could stop the technology from coming, but like you say, take the opportunity to see how it can benefit you or realize it won't benefit you, then you can see how you can integrate it into, your business or whatever you're doing. So it's either get left behind or find out what's going on.
Well, you can see like some companies like DoorDash and Amazon are using it heavily, but that's a way for you to use your vehicle to make money.
That part.
So you see what I'm saying?
Well, you got a lot of people think their vehicle is really their vehicle to polish up, keep, make it look good, and all that. I mean, you got that people. They just be like, man, I ain't good using my car to do this and that. I'm sitting there going, but that's what it's there for.
Yeah.
Your car is not meant not to be used.
Not to just sit on your lot.
Sit in your lot and make your house look good. Yeah, because it's weird. I was riding through this neighborhood the other night, and I said it's interesting how all these cars are probably 5 years old, but the houses are about 30, 40 years old. The cars make the house actually look decent, and it's sad because we're putting our value in things that doesn't really need to be valued like that. But I see us, because we're currently dealing with a war. We're dealing with, let's be honest.
Yes.
Though the tragedies have happened, I'm very sorry to hear about that, and my condolences to all those who have lost their lives and the families, obviously, with that being said. But here it is, one of the biggest things that the United States is being blamed about is that we put all these billions of dollars into technology and being able to send drones instead of sending people. But now we're sending people.
Yeah. So to your point, people are always going to be needed.
Yeah.
It's just going to be tough for us to kind of. I think we're struggling with how do we live with the AI.
Yeah.
How do we live? How are we going to live?
How do
with
we
these
incorporate
robots?
it into our lives? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Justyn, and I'll say this because I know we're getting close to our session here. And we're going to take a break. But before we take this break, have you considered taking what you know and actually saying, I'm going to write about it? Because I kind of feel like you have that story that needs to be told on maybe a TED Talk. Has that ever come to you saying, hey, you know what I know, I can get to more people, masses of people. Is it time for you to start structuring that way compared to where you were, where you've been?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want you to talk about that a little bit because I really feel like for those that don't know, this young man is highly respected. But not only that, there's some things that you do that I think people really need to take a grasp of, because if they don't, they're probably going to be the ones paying for it later to get it. With that being said, y'all, this is the Locked and Loaded Show. I am Brother Mays, the one and only. And we got
Janae.
always in the house. We'll be right back. We got Justyn Pippins. You already know. We'll be right back. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your one and only Brother Mays, Jayce and I.
Yep.
Alrighty. We got our special guest, Mr. Justyn Pippins. And of course, the entrepreneur, the myth, the legend, the man himself. At the end of the day, Justyn, we were kind of talking about prior to the break, that mentality. We were getting to that point where, what the expectations are, and when you're dealing with business itself, and especially those who have worn many hats. I think the real question is, man, is kind of talk about where is it in this transition? Do you start saying, I need to do something different, otherwise I'm gonna bottom out? Kind of talk about that from that standpoint, because I want to hear about it from a self-care standpoint, but I also want to hear about it from a learning and or entrepreneurial standpoint where, hey, this is my opportunity.
I think a lot of entrepreneurs in Springfield feel like they hit a glass ceiling, and there's not. There's nothing more for me to learn in this town. I know everybody. I know this and that, and it's like, really, it's just going back to that drawing board and creating a new canvas. Failure is just an opportunity for you to come back in a different way. So, always being open to learning new things, pivoting and going in a different direction. I know it can be really hard and tough and challenging, but I think that's what we're talking about. It's just challenging yourself get out of your comfort zone, to do something a little different. So, a lot of times when I deal with my clients, to your point, I will try to, you know, maybe in 6 months are your sales a little different. What let's look at that. Let's sit down and look at the sales. Let's go back and look at that business plan. Do we need to change something on that? Maybe you need to work with a marketing person. Okay, let's look at your Instagram numbers to see if they're a little better than they were last month. So, making sure that those measurables are there,
Yeah.
and then you'll start to see, like, entrepreneurs, they pick up on the things that they're learning. Like, they want to be a sponge and soak up,
Right.
information. So they'll start doing the things themselves. A lot of times you just kind of need a push
Yeah.
or a kick, and that's all you really need. Now you're rolling down hill, and that snowball is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But for some folks, they kind of like where they are, and um, they don't mind kind of just rolling along with how they have it. So, that when you talk about that, I think it's more of how have you grown in the business? So,
Yeah.
to your point, when we get on kind of like the self-care topic is you know what are you doing for yourself? Okay, we're hitting these business numbers. This is doing well. Your marketing is doing well. All these things are doing well. What are you doing for yourself? Are you taking time to Are you taking that day to just breathe? You know, did you take the day off and let your assistant manager run the business? Did you take that trip? Did you go to that counseling session for your marriage? You know what I mean? So just being well rounded, because I think a lot of times folks just want to throw themselves into their business.
Yeah.
I'm so busy. I'm in the business, and I put 40 hours in my business this week, and it's like, that's great. That's amazing. How much time did you invest in yourself?
Do you find it very easy to talk to a young man or a young woman, and when you're explaining to them about these steps?
It's kind of hard.
Mm.
It's kind of hard because you have to look at yourself and you have to say, I need a break, or I need to talk to someone, or I need to take a step back.
Mm.
If you're an entrepreneur in your business, you're doing well, you don't really, you don't want to say that you failed at something. You don't want to say that you need help with this. So it's just trying to pull it out of them.
No, I appreciate that. We've had some questions that have come in. I put it out there the other day and said, our special guest that's coming in the house is Mr. Justyn Pippins. What would you like to know, or what question could you ask? So this is coming from a Mr. Larry. Okay, Larry is retired. Larry says, I've worked so hard all my life that my retirement finally came.
Okay.
To see what I actually make today in comparison to what I made before, my biggest question is, how do I sustain, or should I say, how do I move forward in such a very rigorous economy and still have the same passion I did when I first started?
Yeah. I know it can get really hard when you've done something 30, 40 years to kind of find that spark, to spark yourself again. But I would say, go get that coach, go get that mentor, go get, someone who will challenge you to try again. Um, it's sometimes when folks, like I said, when folks get a little older, um, SCORE is a great mechanism for that, because it's a lot of retired older
I was
individuals.
going to say, is SCORE, does it have its age? Does it have like a limit, age limit,
No,
or is
man.
it
I
how?
mean, a lot of folks die in SCORE all the time because they don't start until they retire. They don't get into
Yeah.
SCORE until they retire. So they're literally like 50 and 60 when they start,
Right.
and then they'll just do it because they get that excitement from helping entrepreneurs. So I would say, maybe find um there's sparks all over the place. It could be a book.
Mm-hmm.
It could be, some of the things he enjoys doing.
Mm-hmm.
So just trying to find that needle in the haystack and just go after it.
Okay. Brings me to the next question. This is Aubrey. Aubrey actually lives in Joplin. Okay. Aubrey says, I have started my own business. I recently looked at what happened over the last year. Of course, I didn't know what happened, but she goes on to say, I feel like I've done everything I can to make sure that what is needed is there. What's next? Makes sense?
Yeah. I mean, it could be location. It could be a mentor, a coach. It could be the people around her telling her everything's great. So it's just getting out of your comfort zone a little. I wish I had a little bit more information on.
Yeah, she was very general with it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want to say that, when people ask that type of question, they've hit a stopping point.
Yeah.
And it may not be totally influenced by them. So I kind of wonder if she's listening to this show right now, is she thinking that it would be best to go with what I know or try something brand new? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I remember I brought up the point earlier about having a niche business. So like maybe the niche that you're doing right now isn't working in Joplin. So what works well in Joplin? That's what you want to try to do is don't reinvent the wheel. If something works well in Joplin, that's what you want to try to pursue.
Okay, this is my third question here. This is coming from Adrian. Adrian says, I've lived in Springfield and I've taken the time to better understand my goals and what I need. But finding, it says here, but finding myself through the back and forth that I get in my job has caused me to put my 2 weeks notice in. Okay. And I said, and I'm thinking, what does that back and forth mean? Yeah. But put that 2 weeks notice in. Does that make me look like I'm a quitter? Or does that make me look like I take chances?
No, it's just like I said, failure is just an opportunity for you to create a new canvas. So I also would say, don't quit your job until you have another one.
Right.
At the same time, but if you have a job and it's stressing you out and it's wearing on your nerves, then maybe it could be time for a change. But I always would wait until I had another opportunity before I would put my 2 weeks
I was gonna say something because he said the back and forth like between him working a job and him having a business.
Okay, I didn't pick up on that.
I feel like that's what I got from it.
Because I believe where that question stemmed from is the back and forth is, maybe their job has funding, or they may be a nonprofit and they have funding, and it's just because I went through this before.
Yeah.
What your expectation is not there, but now you got to work with less. But then you're still your expectation, and you built up this culture for it.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you get away from that?
Well, just like I was saying before, sometimes when you're listening to folks and they're trying to do their thing in business and you hear money, go get a job.
Yeah.
Go get a job. Your business might suffer for a little bit, but you got that money. You're gonna stop talking about money.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say, because I kind of picked it up from the perspective of like his business and a job, like working a job and going back and forth from trying to run their business. Because I would say, at least for me, I mean, the business that I'm in for music, and Marlon, you can relate to this because you've been in the music business, but it's just like being a creative entrepreneur, like in a creative field, is like there's guidelines, but there's not. It's like there's rules, but there's not. And so, I mean, shoot, since I started doing music, I mean, this year will be my 5th year pursuing music as my full-time career. And I've been very much back and forth between needing another job and just doing the studio work and needing another job and everything. And I feel like, um, especially with the work that I'm doing now, it's just like, okay, at what point do I say like, okay, I can quit this comfortably? Like I can leave this alone and put my own to the business. When he asked about, is this me being a quitter or am I taking a chance? And it's like I've been in that mindset before. I'm like, okay, like am I taking a chance and I'm putting all putting all the money on me to make this business work, or am I me leaving a job after another job after another job is just like, okay, what am I showing myself that I can't sustain one of these two things, or make the other thing work. So
I always would hang on to the job until the business can kind of
right,
get
right,
sustainable. So, but a lot of times folks quit their job because they don't want to work for anybody else. So, and that's a lot of times why folks start businesses is because they don't want to work for other people.
Right.
But it's like, well, then that business needs to make money. If you don't want to work for anybody, that business needs to make money.
I feel like you got to set yourself up right to do something like that. Like to completely quit, not have anything ready yet. It's just like, okay, you've been working. Maybe your plan was to, okay, I'm about to work this job for 2 years straight. I'm about to save up as much money as possible. And when I take this time off to to start the business, all that money's going into that. Like that's a better way to go about something like that versus just like, all right, I quit. Now what? What are we doing next?
No, it's a brother downtown. It's a brother downtown who, works UPS at night and he works on his business downtown during the day, and it's a great marriage. So, it's not like I said, until that business is sustainable enough, like you said, to make money, you just want to hold on to the job.
That part.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself? And I know this is about you here. Do you find yourself when you hear things like this, resorting back to, man, I should have did it this way. Man, if I would have thought of that, I should have. Because you're saying stuff now, I'm sure you learned over time.
Yeah.
But have you kicked yourself in the what about certain decisions you made?
Yeah, like to your point, with the speaking,
Yeah.
and doing TED Talks and doing big events and things like that. I definitely wanted to do those things, but that's investing heavily in that niche. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I would want to. Yes, it's something that I want to do, but it's like, does that match my lifestyle right now? Now, maybe about 10 years ago, it did.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
Wow.
what I was trying to get at with that.
Guys, we're listening to Justyn Pippins, and like I said, he's the man, the myth. We're talking about leveling up, obviously dealing with the different mindsets of economic growth, and we're learning about the do's and the don'ts. Is there a final thing that you would like to say to the audience about you, your growth, your business, your coaching, your mentorship? How would you close that out?
Yeah, I would just say any entrepreneur, go get you a mentor, a coach, a networking group that supports what you're trying to do, and just run with it.
I love it. Yeah. Hey, guys, this is Justyn Pippins. Justyn, how does someone get in touch with you and what you do?
Yeah, you can hit me up on Instagram at Harborside219, Harborside_219 on Instagram, Twitter. Good. I'm on LinkedIn. Reach out. I'm on LinkedIn as well.
I love it. Hey, this is Justyn Pippins, y'all. This is he's about to be my new best friend. He don't know that because I got some things I want to talk to him about. But Jayce, you feel like you got some answers on some things?
I feel like I was here.
You was here? Yeah. Okay. I feel like I got some answers too. And for those that want to know more, we'll have Mr. Pippins' information posted up, and that way you get a chance to maybe talk to him personally at the end of the day too. This is the Lock and Loader Show. Hey y'all, we have had fun. You can catch us every month, 2 times a month at least, with a new episode. And we ain't went nowhere. We right at the youtube.com / of course, at the Locked and Loaded Show. I am only one half of the greatest duo there is. That's right, Brother Mays,
Jayce
aka
Janae, come on.
that one, Jayce
Oh yeah,
Janae.
my bad. The AKA, can't forget that.
Yeah, you
Come
know,
on.
but I tell people all the time, I got this name. This name is Marlon Reseangraves. Do you realize there's just so many different ways you can make money off your name? I'll let you know about that if you don't know.
I don't.
You don't know about that? Man, listen. I thought the businessman was gonna teach me something. I'm gonna teach him something. But at the end of the day, guys, we first of all, we thank you for having us.
Glad to be
Jayce and I, myself, of course, we'll definitely have you back. But in the meantime, hey y'all, you already know where to find us. This is the Lock and Loaded Show. Peace.